morning and welcome to QCell, the proud home of the Sunyu Boss brand. Before we start, I'd like us to take a minute of silence and pray individually in our own ways before we get into the program proper. The Executive Director, Qgroup Foundation, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Luis Moses Mendy. Good morning, sir. The Director of Science and Technology, Mr. Bakari Sise, and his team of experts from MOPSI. Welcome. The Chairman, Qgroup MOPSI Scholarship Committee, Mr. Alpha Ba. Members of Qgroup, my colleagues from the members of the Qgroup, members of the press, our long-term partners, recipients of this year's scholarship present here, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to QCell House. This is an important event with the framework of our long-term partnership with MOPSI. Today we are gathered here to witness and congratulate this year's recipients of the Qgroup Foundation / MOPSI scholarship given to 10 deserving students to pursue a 4-year bachelor's degree tenable at the University of the Gambia. I know the foundation has been giving scholarships in the past, but this is the first time we have partnered with MOPSI, the industry leader in the education business. This is the first time we partnered with them so that we can leverage on their expertise and their advice. And the chairman and his team have done a very good job. Just to give you a rundown of today's program, the first speaker will be the Executive Director of Qgroup Foundation, Mrs. Aissatou Jah, who also doubles as the First Lady of the Qgroup of companies. After that, we will hear a short statement from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. And then after that, we will hear from the Director of Science and Technology. He has been very instrumental in this exercise. And then we will also hear from the Chairman of the Scholarship Committee, Mr. Alpha Ba. And then a representative from the student recipients will also give a vote of thanks. So it's not going to be a long program, knowing that tomorrow is a holiday. The PS is pressed, and we are all pressed with a lot of work. So we will make it very quick and short. On that note, I would like to call on the Executive Director of the Qgroup Foundation, Ajaratu Mrs. Aissatou Jah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yafa. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Louis Moses Mendy. The Director of Science, Technology and Engineering at the MOPSI, Mr. Bakari Sise. The Chairman of the Scholarship Committee, Mr. Alpha Ba, my friend. My colleagues are here at the Qgroup, representatives of the media, recipients of the scholarship. Good morning to you all, and welcome to the QCell House. If you can recall, a few months ago, specifically towards the end of October, we stood here to officially announce the launching of the Qgroup MOPSI Scholarship Program. Today, 3 months later, we are pleased and proud to be here to award the recipients of the scholarship. For those of you, I think everybody knows that the Qgroup Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Qgroup of companies, through which we streamline our initiatives and interventions with the aim of contributing to national development. Since our inception in 2016, we have been supporting initiatives focused on sustainable development in the areas of education, health, youth, and community development. Notably, in 2018, we signed an MOU with the Ministry of Basic Education, MAPSI, to establish a cooperative relationship between our institutions and to promote partnership based on active dialogue and interaction in the development of education. However, our relationship with MAPSI goes way back. From 2010, when we partnered with MAPSI to organize the country's largest spelling bee at a tune of $10 million. And to most recently, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, we supported the reopening of schools through a donation of $1 million. As many of you know, and as Mr. Yafa has mentioned, the Qgroup has been supporting tens of students every year, particularly the underprivileged, to access tertiary education at the UTJ, or Gambia College. However, we have realized that most of the students that come to us are studying accounting, development studies, and as a technology-based company, we decided that we should do something about this to encourage students to go into technology, and specifically STEM areas. We are not specifically focusing just on technology because we are a technology-based company, but we know that all the STEM areas are very important in our development path. So we decide, therefore, this partnership was specifically established to bridge the gap that we are seeing in our institutions of higher learning and to encourage Gambians to venture into mathematics, sciences, and ICT-related programs at the University of the Gambia. Under this program, every year, 10 deserving students will be awarded a scholarship, and the awards will be distributed equitably across the 7 regional education directorates. We understand that the students from the provincial areas have difficulties accessing science at the senior secondary school level. So most of them are obliged to come to the Greater Banjul area. Hence the reason why throughout our application process, we try to find out the origin of the students, where you originally came from. So if, for example, you are from Basse and you came here to do your senior secondary school from grade 10 to 12, then you are considered to be from Basse. So we considered you under the Basse quota. Which is region 5, right? 6, region 6. So that's how we assess the students. The call for applications was opened on 15 December 2020 and closed on 31st of January 2022. So we gave students a 6-week period to apply, and we followed this was announced immediately after the release of the grade 12 results. And as we know, this year, the grade 12 results were released late because of the pandemic. Prerequisite for applying for the scholarship was acceptance at UTJ in one of the following STEM fields. And that's the reason why we gave them a decent period of time to be able to get that acceptance and come to us. We also accepted applications from people who graduated the previous years and have applied to UTJ. So the prerequisite was applying for the scholarship was acceptance at UTG, but it had to be in one of the following fields: computer science, information systems, planning and design, mathematics, physics, biology, and chemistry, and also data science. And the eligibility criteria published was as follows. The applicant must be a Gambian and must have successfully completed grade 12 WAS or IGCSE, and must have had admission at the UTG in one of the full STEM disciplines that I mentioned, and they must show evidence of financial need. So if your father is Mr. Yafa, then you are not qualified to have the scholarship. So even though you did well, and your father is Mr. Yafa, if Mr. Yafa is able to afford to pay for you to UTG, we don't give you the scholarship. We give it to somebody who's more deserving. Must not be. We also told applicants that they must not currently be benefiting from a similar scholarship. After we received the applications, a committee was set up with both MOPSI and Qgroup Foundation staff and to review the applications. And we received 128 applications from across the country. And after the initial review, 62 applicants were shortlisted. And then we called 16 candidates for interviews, and that's how we selected the 10 that are here today. We must say that it has been very, very difficult and painstaking for the committee because all the candidates were very good and demonstrated financial need, strong financial need. But in the end, we had to select only 10. The 10 selected candidates in the room should be very proud because you are the best amongst the best. We congratulate you and your families, and we hope that you will make use of this opportunity and you will come out at the end of your studies victorious with flying colors, and you'll be able to contribute your quota in our country in the STEM areas. For those that were not selected, we urge you to keep trying, and we wish you the best. We urge this first batch to carefully read the conditions attached to the scholarship and to abide by it. And as we have said before, we are starting this partnership with 10 students annually, but we are hoping and praying to expand as we go along. This is our way of giving back to the community that help us come to where we are today. Because this scholarship is specifically targeting STEM students, we hope that this announcement and publicizing this award will encourage students in low and upper basic schools, particularly those from low-income families, to take up science subjects in senior secondary schools so that they can qualify to apply. Because in order to apply, you must be a science student in high school, because UTG will not accept you to go and do biology if you have not done biology before. So we are encouraging students in the lower basic schools and the upper basic schools to start thinking about taking up science fields in their senior secondary schools. At this juncture, I would like to call on the chair of this ceremony, not the chairman of the committee, but the chair of this ceremony, to proceed with the program. We wish all of the students, the awardees, good luck with this award, and we hope that you make best use of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Executive Director. That's a very strong message. If you are a listener or you are in this room, spread the message. The younger generation should start thinking about science because it is the area or industry that help economic growth. Now I would like to call on the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Luis Moses Mendy, to give a short remarks.
Thank you very much, Chair of the occasion of this very important event this morning. First, I want to start by recognizing the Chief Executive of the Qgroup Foundation, Madam Ja. I also want to recognize my colleague director from the ministry, Mr. Bakari Sise. Of course, the chairman of the selection and the whole scholarship, Mr. Alpha, my colleague also. I also want to recognize the entire staff of the Q Group and also the Qgroup Foundation, my other colleagues from the ministry, the parents of the beloved students of ours this morning. I want to recognize you. I want to recognize, of course, my students who have made me proud this morning. And most importantly, I want to recognize my media fraternity, my friends. Good morning to you this morning. Today, I'm a bit thrilled. Thrilled because as a country, we are battling with science in everything. In terms of healthcare, in terms of technological science. If we observe around, most of these areas, we tend to import people from the outside. And if we are beginning today, this morning, to recruit and train our own Gambian children with the aim of these people taking over the leadership in the sciences tomorrow, it is something that is worth celebrating. 4 years down the line, you'll be graduating from your different disciplines. And it is our hope that you will further that training thereafter to the master's level and to the PhD level. Like I said in the opening, when we launched this on the 27th of October, 2021, I said I would be proud one day to be flown by a Gambian pilot. One of my classmates in high school flew me from Dubai to Gambia, and I can tell you, even when I experienced turbulence, I felt I was safe, simply because he was a Gambian. So that's the pride. We must take this as an opportunity. You may be interested to know that last year, we had over 16,000 students that sat to the WAS exams. And out of that 16,000, if you are fortunate to be taken, 10 of you from that, like Madam Chief Executive said, you are the best among the best. I think you should be happy, and I'm sure your parents are happier to say yes. I will digress a bit and just tease you a bit so that we are all happy. Like I said, this is a happy moment. Between husband and wife, when a child does well, and when he or she goes out with the mom to a gathering like ceremonious, let's say, Nginte or so, the mom will tell the child, "Demal ni yusa nijay bale." And when he goes to greet the Nijay and the Nijay doesn't seem to know or understand, he says, "Hami oloko, suma dom bila," with smile on the face. Why? Because the dom has gone up, has at least performed some excellence. And I'm sure that is what is happening to your parents today. They are sitting with joy. They are sitting with pride that it is my child who is fortunate to be this. But I want to challenge you, my students. It's a rare opportunity. Opportunity comes your way, and if it does not, if it is not given the best attention, you could lose it along the way as you proceed. So make this opportunity, make good use of this opportunity. And what you do will determine what the Q Group will do. We've had the chief executive telling us that this is just the beginning. In 4 years' time, we'll be sponsoring 40 Gambians in the STEM areas. If we do 10 by every year, in 4 years, we'll be sponsoring 40. Can you imagine what that number would translate to in the next 5, 10 years? That is the workforce that we are going to inject in the Gambia. And these are the people who will take care of us in terms of science and technology. So I want you to inspire others. And you can only do that with your performance. And once you do that, the Q Group would be open to giving us more scholarship as young people and as a country. So we are challenging you. The scholarship, as you know, covers a wide range of benefits, including data. So you have no excuse for anything. Make use of it. To the parents, yes, they have gotten scholarship from the Qgroup, but that's not the end. You also need moral support. Give that moral support to your children. Be interested in what they do in the university. They are still yours. And even they graduate from university, they are still yours. But give them that moral, give them that mentorship, so that tomorrow all of us as a country will be proud. I am telling you that when some of us go out, we are proud of Qgroup because it is our own. Don't you want many Qgroups to happen? We would have loved to have 10 of the Qgroups. And if we had 10, is 10 by 10 is what? Maths, science students, 100. So we would have been given 100 scholarships today if we had 10 Qgroups. So that is the aim. I want to use the occasion also to request and implore on the other Gambians who have the ability, other companies, that it may not be necessarily in science, but in other areas. We are challenged as a sector with science teachers, with physics, with chemistry, and so on. Last year, we had an opportunity from Kwame Nkrumah University in Ghana to provide scholarship for students to study engineering. Unfortunately, quite a number couldn't go, simply because they fell below the requirements. And what were the requirements? The issue of science. You must do physics, you must do chemistry, you must do further maths, you must do mathematics, and so on. And that is why the ministry, as a sector, decided to review its curriculum so that it incorporates all these subjects that are required for students to be able to do any discipline in this country and outside this country. That is the reason for that reform and review of the curriculum. Today, we are happy to say that in the sciences in our senior schools, we have 3 different kinds of science. We have Science 1, Science 2, Science 3. So that the Science 1 encompasses of the physics, the further maths or add maths, the chemistry, and so on. So that not every one of us will become an engineer. Not every one of us will become a data scientist or so. There will be some that will need to go into our hospitals, the doctors, and so on. So we are trying to prepare every discipline in this country. So we want, through your commitment to study, to also support us, because once you demonstrate the ability or the worthiness of this scholarship, others will emulate. And in 10 years, like I said, we will be celebrating as a country a pool of scientists in different disciplines. That is our desire. As a sector, as a country, that is our desire. So I want to commend the Qgroup for this opportunity to my students. And more importantly, I want to congratulate you, the students, for the award. You must be proud of yourselves, and I'm sure you are. And make sure you also make us as a sector and as a country proud by giving the best you can do. On that note, I want to appreciate everyone that is here and wish the awardees the best of luck in your endeavor, in your studies. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. PS. I am glad we partnered with MOPSI. There's a lot of wisdom in that speech. We're going to have a little bit of change. By the way, I also want to mention, the PS touched a little bit about it. The scholarship, it's a 4-year full scholarship, tuition, 100% tuition paid for by the Qgroup Foundation. In addition to that, you will be given internet connectivity throughout the 4 years, throughout your studies. So like the PS said, make good use of the resources you get in this package. So it's a fully 4-year scholarship, fully paid for. The tuition, you don't have to worry about that, and you have internet connectivity throughout your course. Because we are pressed in time, the PS has touched on a lot of areas. Now I think we will fast track and get into the award presentations. After that, after the award presentation, then a representative from the recipients will give vote of thanks, and then we will hear the closing remarks by the Director of Science and Technology in that order. So, Madam Director, can we start? Country school, and he's majoring in computer science. Get the cameras. The next recipient is Alassane Sow. He is from the West Coast region, Monroe Senior Secondary School, and he is majoring in mathematics. Next is Aliou Danso. He's from Kanifing, went to St. Peter's Technical Senior Secondary School. Next is Cherno Siwaidu Jalo, Lower River Region. He went to Nusra Senior Secondary School and he's majoring in mathematics. Next is Ibrahima S. Sow. He's from West Coast Region. He is studying computer science. Next is Kemo Dibasi, Upper River Region. He went to Nusrat High School. He's majoring in computer science. That's my homeboy from URR. Next is Masane Jallo. He is from Central River Region. He went to Daddy Job Comprehensive School and he is majoring in mathematics.
Congratulations.
Next is Khadijatu Mane. She's from Kanifing, went to Nusrat Senior Secondary School. She's majoring in biology. Next is Musa Sise. He's from West Coast, went to St. Peter's Technical High School, majoring in computer science. When you graduate, you can apply at QCell. We'll see.
No, I have the FTech.
And the last candidate is Sohna Faye, North Bank Region. She went to Nusrat and majoring in mathematics.
I must say, Mr. Yafa, that we have 2 females in this group, but we'll make more effort for next year to have at least 5 females out of the We're encouraging the girls to apply. This year we had about 25% of the applicants were females. So if you look at the ratio in classes with what we have, so we want to apply more girls to apply so that they can have representation.
I hope all the recipients receive their letters. If you don't, raise your hand. Okay. So that is the 10, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 10 recipients. And like the executive director said, even the ones that did not make this list, they had very, very good and outstanding marks. The constraint we have is that this year we want to start with 10. That is why these people are selected.
2021.
For 2021. Because the results for 2021 came out late, very late. They came in almost in 2022. So now we have a representative from the recipient. His name is Cherno Diallo, one of the recipients from Nusrat, to give vote of thanks on behalf of the recipients.
Good morning here. I'm the permanent secretary, the executive director, the director of technology, and then other respected elders. I'm saying on behalf of my fellow awardees that we are very proud of all of you here and that we are thanking you for this wonderful opportunity given to us. Yeah, so on behalf of my fellow students here, we are not only thanking you, but we are also trying to assure you that this scholarship will be taken seriously and that we will try our best to benefit from it and also give out the best out of it. Yeah, this scholarship does not only help us financially, but it also helps us, to fully focus on our bachelor's degrees so that we will have what is, best for all of us. And then even go further to participate, in science areas too. So it is very important for all of us to know that without science and technology, this country would not be able to develop, because science is very important in terms of infrastructure, in terms of organizing many things, as we can see, how the media is nowadays. Without science and technology, it would be very difficult for us to be able to pass this on to the society so that they will be able to see, and then the younger generations will also be able to have confidence in the Gambian people, especially the Qgroup Foundation and MOPSI. But as seen by everyone here, I would like also to tell others outside this, not only about Qgroup and MOPSI, anyone who can participate and help Gambian people to further their education, not only even in science and technology, but other fields as well, would be very important. So I'm hereby, on behalf of the awardees, to thank everyone here who make this work possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cherno. I also like to say that now that you have received your award letters, you need to write back to the Qgroup Foundation to say you accept. When that is done, then we will give you the MyFile routers and the data cards, and we will pay the university directly. You have to first read the letters and accept the offer. If you accept the offer, then we go to the final stage of this. We are almost at the tail end of it. Now I like the chairman of...
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair. I must acknowledge the presence of the Executive Director, Madam Aisru, and my peers, my Director Bakari, Uncle Let, and my colleagues. Definitely this has been a very interesting journey for all of us. I happen to be the chair, but definitely I must say that it's a very good demonstration and an example of how this able team led behind. They led the process from behind. And I think I must say that I'm one of the person who really benefited a lot from all this experience from the team. But coming back to the whole process of this, I think there is a very good example for a private partnership model that Qgroup and MOPSI is demonstrating. And I think this is one of the models that has really worked very efficiently. From October to now, here we are, and we are heading to the classroom. And the other part I really enjoyed very well was during the interview. I know I was late, but I saw something very interesting. And that's why I said, when the PS and Madam talk about how we are ready to develop the country, these students, you, honestly, there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of opportunity. And we are already in a haste to grab you, to put you at work. So we are expecting a lot from you. And again, when it comes to the, 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 the disciplines you are doing, these are areas that both Qgroup and the education sector is needing a lot of these skills. So we look forward to seeing you graduate, hopefully, and we'll be putting our eye on you, and ensure that we work with you along the journey. But I really must say that definitely this exercise was very useful. Thank you, madam, for keeping us on our toes. It was very useful. Uncle Let was very useful also. And I think we benefited. We benefited more than everybody, particularly myself. Thank you very much.
That was the chairman of the committee. Now, we said we'll do this in an hour. It's almost that. We will take a few questions from the members of the press, and these questions can be directed to the executive director or the permanent secretary or the director of science and technology at MOPSI, or any of the students, recipients. You can just raise your hand, say your name and the media house that you represent. And let us also know who is this question for, if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. If you can recall in my speech, I mentioned that we are already supporting tens of students. I think this year alone, apart from this 10, we have another 30-something students that we are supporting at the UTG currently. And we have realized that most of them are studying either accounting or development studies. It's very rare to see anybody studying, having a major in the STEM areas. And that is why we specifically launched this program to address that gap, because there is a big gap currently. Students go for accountancy, developmental studies, because the requirements for those are less than the sciences. And we realize that what we need as a country to develop is STEM. And that is why we are addressing this gap. So we are still continuing what we are doing with the other areas, but this one is specifically targeted for those areas.
Ready to accommodate these people in terms of providing employment for them?
I can tell you in the technology area, we are ready, because we are looking, every time we are looking for network engineers, we're looking for software developers, we're looking for system administrators, and we don't have them. And sometimes we are obliged to look outside of Gambia. Most of the time we are obliged to look outside of Gambia because we don't have enough graduates in those areas. And even the ones that graduate, they normally, quickly get a scholarship, another scholarship to get a master's, and when they are gone, most of them don't come back. So it's a big challenge. So we need to have a big churn. We need to have a big number graduating, so that at least if some of them leave, we will have some left. But if we have a few, and they are the very best ones, they will be grabbed by other markets, because we are living in a global world. So we need to make sure that we have a good number of graduates in the STEM area so that we can retain some within the country.
Message of caution, because from experience, we have realized students of their caliber who have very good results, even though they have scholarships to study at university, they keep looking for scholarships outside the country. So wherein they get that, I just want to send a message of caution,
Okay. The selection, the advertisement was done online. We use media, we use TV, but mostly we use online media. Application process was online. And I think when we came for the interview, we asked most of the students that we asked, how did they learn about the scholarship? They said they learned it from their WhatsApp groups. Most of them have WhatsApp groups. Most of these students, they belong into multiple WhatsApp groups, and most of them saw it from the WhatsApp groups or from Facebook. So that's how it was advertised. How we selected, we looked at, in the application process, there were several questions asked: where are you from, your grades, We verified the grades with WIAC to make sure that they were authentic. And then we checked those that are high achieving, because we were looking for two things: high achieving and from low income background. So if you are high achieving and you were not able to demonstrate, I'm not saying you don't have strong financial needs, but you were not able to demonstrate to us through your application, because we had asked them to write a financial statement to explain why they actually need this scholarship. So depending on how you responded to that question, that's how we shortlisted. So if you demonstrated a strong financial need for the scholarship, then we shortlisted you. And if you were also high achieving. Also, we made sure we allocated at least one per region. So we said that regardless, even if we have 2 applicants in Upper River Division, we have to give 1, because we wanted to have inclusion in all the regions. And West Coast was the biggest region. I think all of us know that West Coast is the biggest region, and that is why we have four awardees from the West Coast region. So, but the goal is eventually we want to give minimum of 2 in each region, and regions like West Coast that are bigger, we can give them more.
I think the director also would like to add.
Yeah, just to.
We have the senior bus concept. UTG is ours. We have to develop it. Universities develop over time. So once we have to build the capacity, and this is how we build the capacity. We have to have students there that in university, it's not just the teachers giving. The students also give back. In fact, the teachers, the lecturers at university say they learn more from the students than the students learn from them. So we believe that you being there will help UTG to develop. And we are not saying that anybody should not go out, but if you have another opportunity, you have to inform us in time so that we can give that opportunity to somebody else. But we're encouraging you to at least have that sense of ownership, to know that UTG belongs to all of us, that we are the ones that have to help it grow. We have to develop it to where we want it to be. I just wanted to add that, one of the challenges that the education sector in general is having in the sciences is physics. And I think if some of you at the interview, we realize we've been asking you, would you like to teach physics? Because in all the schools, even the private schools, I know for a fact, having a physics teacher is a problem across the country. And I think in many other countries too. So we are encouraging you that if you are a mathematics student and you are very good in physics, because mostly math students are very good in physics, we encourage you to have that as a side hobby, I can say. Try to get some more physics classes so that you can help to teach. Maybe teach 1 class a week once you graduate or something, because we need that to develop as a country. You cannot have engineers if they don't understand physics. So these are some of the challenges that we as a nation are facing, and we're here to help the government to address these issues. So we as a technology-driven company, we are leading the way, and we hope that others will follow.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, we've done so much so far, so good. So we can simply do a quiet prayers and then call it a day. Bismillah. Amen.